Hello and welcome back to the another episode of the Hindu News Analysis. Well, today it is 10th September 2025, and in this video we are going to discuss some important articles which are very much relevant for your preparation. Before we start our discussion, I would like to give the brief idea about the approach which we are going to have with respect to these articles so that you will get well prepared for it. First of all, with respect to every article which we are going to discuss here, we will first discuss the summary of the article. In it, we will try to understand what article is about, what is the background story, what is happening right now, and we'll try to understand the crux of the given article which the author wants to convey us. Second, we will look into the key points of the article which could be very much important for you to note down, because from there you can expect the prelims question or mains topic question can be asked from these key points. Then third, we'll look into the possible prelims or mains question from these articles. So this is the approach which we are going to have with respect to these articles which we are going to discuss today. Now, without any delay, let's start our discussion by looking at the first article which is on the screen here. As you can see, Israel has struck the Hamas leaders' shelters in Qatar. So in a way, we can say that Israel, it has attacked the Qatar, where it has attacked the infrastructure in Qatar, where it was believed, according to the Israeli sources, that it was a sheltering home for the Hamas leaders. Now, what is the background story of that? First of all, everybody knows the role of Qatar with respect to the role of Qatar with respect to the Western conflicts. Whether it would be USA versus Taliban, whether it would be USA versus Hamas, whether it would be any country, USA versus Israel, wherever there is the conflict of Western world with other countries, we see the Qatar, it is the major mediator between the two. Qatar will always play as a mediator. So with respect to this, as we know that there is war going on between Israel and the Hamas, or we can say that a one-sided genocide is going on. If I will be more precise and I will be more unbiased, it is the one-sided genocide going on right now. And in this regard, there were different claims from different countries. So USA, they are giving, as we can see, that Donald Trump, he proposed the ceasefire idea, that how ceasefire could be achieved. And in a way, if you can remember, or if you would had gone through the social media, especially Twitter or his own social media company, Truth Something, he had discussed there that he gave a tweet there where he said that this would be the last warning to Hamas: either accept his terms or be ready for the major violation, be ready for the major impact of US's anger or Israel's anger. Similarly, on the same day, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, whom I call Benjamin Netanyahu, he also tweeted that it is the last warning for the people in Gaza to leave. So they should leave as soon as possible. So we know that how the conditions were building right now. And at the same time, when USA wanted that there should be the ceasefire, when USA wanted that Hamas should listen, and Hamas were considering it, the leaders from Hamas, they were considering the ceasefire proposed by the ceasefire proposed by the US, and they were in the Qatar. At the same time, they were attacked. So what does it represent? There are various aspects to it. If we will go into the detail of it, there could be various aspects. First of all, we can say that what can be the three possibilities. First of all, we know that Qatar as a country is a close ally of US. And recently, US's President Donald Trump was there, and he was given the helicopter as the gift. Everybody knows that. So attacking the US's ally is not a good omen for the Israel. It should have not been a good omen for the Israel. But what is the real story? That seems very much different. USA knew about it. That is 100% correct. If we assume that USA was not knowing about it, it would have been a disaster. But USA itself, they gave the statement that they were very much aware of it, and it is not going to help neither Qatar, it is not going to help Hamas, neither it is going to help the cause of USA. They gave this statement. Whether what was the value of the statement, that is different. At the same time, does Qatar knew about it? Now there are the claims regarding that. Did Qatar really knew about that? They are going to attack the shelters, or was it played? Was it a game played together by USA, Qatar, and Israel in framing the Hamas leaders there and in in attacking them, in trying to kill them? So there are various speculations going on. In this regard, what is important for us? What is important for us to note down is that you know there is genocide is going on, and these western led countries, the countries who are supporting it, they can go to any extent to to get what they want. We as a country, India as a country has always maintained this theory of two nation there in the Middle East, that it can only achieve there could be peace only when there would be the formation of two nation, and when the Palestinians would be given their rights. So in this regard, this article is written here, and it gives us the brief idea what is happening there. So let's see what are the key points given in here, and let's try to find out what can be the points which are important for us, and let's see how this news will develop. Right now, what is important for you, that there was attack on Qatar. Actually, it was attack on Hamas shelters, where Israel claimed that their top leaders were killed, but then the reports came, their top leaders survived, and now few leaders of theirs they got killed there. Now let us see what are the key points which we can note down here. First, it is the military action. Israel carried out a strike on Hamas political leadership headquarters in Qatar. The target was the Mushtaha Tower. Mushtaha Tower. Such questions, if UPSC wants, they can ask you. Second, what is the context? The strike occurred as Hamas leaders were in Doha to consider a new US proposal for a Gaza ceasefire. So they were called there. They were considering this new proposal of USA, and at the same time they were duped. Now this goes against the the modern warfare. This goes against everything. This goes against the ethics what Israel has done right now and what USA is witnessing to. Third, what were the casualties? Hamas top leaders, including its chief negotiator, survived the strike, but 5 lower level members, including the son of Hamas Gaza leader Khalil al-Hayya, were killed. So few leaders survived and few lower leaders got killed, including the son of their leader. What is the international reaction? Qatar definitely had condemned the strike as a violation of its sovereignty and integrity and international law. UN Security General Antonio Guterres urged all parties to work together on ceasefire. Then what is the Israel's stance? Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu quickly claimed responsibility, stating that the strike was in response to recent attacks in Jerusalem and Gaza, as there would be every attack which would be led by Israel, that would be some kind of a retaliatory attack. Well, that is the different story, not for us right now. Then US involvement. Israel alerts the US before the strike. US officials, however, distanced themselves from the attack and stated that it did not advance US or Israeli goal. So this is what officially they stated about it. Then what is the impact on peace talks? The strike has put the ongoing ceasefire negotiations at risk, definitely. So what does it show? It definitely shows that they don't want to go for the ceasefire. Israel don't want to go for the ceasefire. They want to capture the Gaza fully. They want the people from Gaza to leave the places, and they want to establish their full state there. This is what exactly is evident from here. Their goal was to get their hostages back, but it does not seem it is really their goal. Now it is almost 3 years, 2 years, more than 2 years, and still the story is continuing, and those hostages, they had not been taken out from there. So well, let us see what will happen with this, and let's move to the question which can be asked from this article. Here the question says, in the context of the recent strikes targeting Hamas leadership, which of the following is correct regarding the strike's location and the country's role as mediator? The strike took place in Qatar, a country that has served as a key mediator between Israel and Hamas. That is absolutely correct, and rest is incorrect. So with this, it also shows that, I want to add here that as USA is guaranteeing the security in the Middle East, especially Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and such other countries. Now it is time for them to realize: is USA really the reliable partner? Is USA going to give them the real security what they are dreaming from them, what they are demanding from them? To me, I don't think so. There are major questions, and today's incident it has raised much question marks. Whether Israel, whether USA is such really a great partner, and India can learn from here that how, and we had already learned from the Operation Sindoor onwards, we had realized that USA it is not that great partner. It cannot stand by you if you are under misery. That is 100%. That is very much clear. So it is important for the South countries to realize the importance of the reliable partners, to realize how to prevent the sovereignty and integrity of their nations and be less dependent on the US and the Western world. Now, with this, let's move to the another article. But before we move to the another article, I would like to give the brief introduction about the initiative which we had started here, so that if you are new to our channel, you will get more connected with us. From 2nd June 2026, we started 2025, we started an initiative here by the name Target IAS 2026. Under this initiative, every day we upload 2 videos, one in the morning session where we will discuss the news analysis or will take care of your current affairs. Second, in the evening session where we will deal with the static syllabus. But I will be honest with you, from last 10 to 15 days, I was not very much regular, especially with respect to the static syllabus. And the reason why I was really traveling, and because of that, I could not get time to deliver these lectures. But from today, I can promise you that every day I am going to upload these 2 videos, whatever the condition would be, if it is not extreme. And I had promised you here one thing, that by the month of January 2026, I will complete your full syllabus, and I am very much, confident that we will complete it before January 2026. With respect to this, we started with respect to the static syllabus, we started with Indian polity, which we had already completed. Then we discussed the governance, completed. Now we are discussing ancient history. Almost 8 lectures we had, 9 lectures I guess we had completed. And today we will upload the 10th lecture, and we will discuss the post-Mauryan era. We will see what was the administration during the Mauryan Empire, what were the offices, and all that we will discuss in the bureaucracy today. So with respect to this, what is the exception, what we are not going to discuss here, that is the optional subjects we are not going to discuss here. And one more thing I would like to mention, that as I always say that these lectures should be enough for you, but it is beyond the capability of a human to deliver everything. I can guarantee you one thing, that the lectures which I am giving you here with respect to these subjects, it may be better than the lectures which you will get from the other coaching institutes, which I can guarantee. If not the best, it may be at least better than those. If not, then better, it would be in line with those lectures which you will get from the other coaching institutes. But what I wanted to really convey here, that you don't need just the coaching, you don't need just lectures, you need something to read from. Either if you have the books available to you guys, that is fine. But if you will ask me, are those books really good enough? I would say that they give the information, but they don't give the systematic information, how to read, what should be your approach. So for that, what we have done, we are preparing notes for you, we are preparing books for you which can be sufficient for you. And we had already prepared the Indian polity for the comprehensive analysis of Indian polity and governance for prelims and mains. This book is available. If you want to get access to it, what you will have to do? You will have to mail me at salvation UPSC 136@gmail.com, and you will be told to pay only 200 rupees for it. This book I had written in more than 1100 pages. It is up to you if you want to get access to it. You just mail me at this mail ID. I will send it to you. What is the good part about it? You will not miss any topic which would be relevant for you. Second, After every topic which we had discussed there would be the possible prelims or mains question. So this is something great about it. So with this, let's move to the another article and try to understand what it is about. Well, this article is about the anarchy in the Kathmandu. Recently, if you are a little bit aware of the situation in Kathmandu or in Nepal, you would have heard that there was this complete complete ban on social media. There was complete ban on social blanket ban on social media, and which led to the protest from the newer generation, protests from the people, from the students, which who themselves they call the Gen Zs. So there was protest from them, and unfortunately, in this protest, many people died, many students died, approximately 18 to 19. And this protest intensified, which was earlier the peaceful protest, now it became very much violent. And because of that, there were, it became so violent, there were claims for the corruption in the country. Corruption, they claimed that the top leaders, they live lavishly, they have the lavish life, and unfortunately, the people the people who pay the taxes, they are not getting what they deserve. In this regard, there was huge conflict in the country, and they vandalized the government buildings, they burned the parliament, they attacked the Supreme Court, and eventually now the PM of Nepal, what he did, he resignated. He resigned from his office. Now, in this regard, let's see what are the developments, what are the key points which can be important for us, and we have to realize how it is important for India, as it is our neighboring country, and we don't want destabilization in our neighborhood. So let's see what are the key points, and let's try to find out what can be the possible question which can be asked from this article. Here, the key points. First, as I told you, it is political resignation. Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has resigned from his office, citing a need to facilitate a political solution to the crisis. Second, the protest and violence. The resignation follows widespread anti-corruption protests, primarily led by Gen Z youth, which resulted in 19 fatalities after police firing. Then what is this symbolic target? Protesters attacked and set fire to key government institutions, including the Parliament, the Supreme Court, and Singha Darbar, the seat of government. They also targeted the homes of top political leaders. Call for dialogue. Both President Ram Chandra Podil and Army Chief General Ashok Raj Sigdal urged protesters to halt their programs and engage in peaceful dialogue to resolve the situation. That is the new political figure. The crisis has highlighted the rising influence of non-traditional political actors, particularly Kathmandu's independent mayor Balinder Shah and opposition leader Ravi Lamachane, whose release from jail has added a new dimension to the political landscape. So there is definitely the political turmoil. What are the central grievances? The main slogan of the protest: Nepal's political class lives lavishly at the expense of our parents' tax money, underscores the core sentiments of the public anger against the political corruption. What is the political vacuum? The country is currently in a state of political uncertainty, with a caretaker prime minister, a paralyzed parliament, and no clear path to a stable government. So definitely it is going to have an impact on India. We want our neighbors to have, we don't want there any kind of instability. We are suffering from the Myanmar side. We don't want to suffer from the Nepal too. So we'll assume there were the PM Narendra Modi, he urged the students of Nepal to sort it out peacefully, so that we will live a better life together. So in this regard, let's see what kind of question can be asked here in the exam. The question may say, the recent political turmoil in Nepal triggered by youth-led protests represents a critical juncture from the traditional democratic system. Analyze the underlying factors contributing to this crisis. So analyze the situations what are happening. Discuss what we had given here. These questions are for the practice purpose. You will learn how to write. If you want your answer to be checked by me, then what you will do? You will mail me at salvation UPSC 136 @gmail.com, and I will definitely check your answer. With this, let's move to the another article. Let's have a look at what it is about. Well, it is about the poor Nari ranking exposes women's safety gaps in Delhi. You know, Nari ranking. It has exposed women's safety in many cities, especially Delhi, as Delhi stands 28th out of 31 cities. So in this regard, let's see what is the information given, as it is much factual in nature and you can expect prelims question from it. So let's see. What is the name of the report? The survey is the National Annual Report and Index on Women's Safety, NARI 2025. Rankings: Delhi ranks 28 out of 31 cities, placing it among the worst performing cities, ahead only of Kolkata, Srinagar, and Ranchi. They are the worst most, and Delhi is among them. What is the survey data? The index is based on a survey of 12,770 women across 31 cities and was released by the National Commission for Women. It was released by National Commission for Women. So a direct prelims question can be asked from here, that the National Annual Report and Index on Women's Safety is released by whom? It is released by the National Commission for Women, this report. What is the public perception in Delhi? 31% of women feel woman-friendly infrastructure is minimal or non-existent. What is the day versus night? The feeling of unsafety in Delhi rises sharply from 8% during the day to 35% after dark. What are the harassment concerns? The incidence of public harassment in Delhi, 12%, is significantly higher than the national average. And 61% of Delhi women who reported harassment said they had faced it more than twice. What is the sites of harassment? The most common places for harassment were neighboring areas and transport facilities, unfortunately. What is the solution suggested? The women surveyed called for more policing and more timely police action. So there should be more policing, there should be more watch on it, and when they go for the complaints, it should be heard well. What are the better performing cities? Cities that ranked higher than the national average include Kohima, Vishakhapatnam, Aziwal, Bhubaneswar, Gangtok, Itanagar, and Mumbai. These are the best performing cities. So in this regard, various types of questions can be asked. First, who is the authority who releases this report? What are the best performing? What are the worst performing cities? And what are the major issues? And also a direct question, even though it cannot be asked, but still for you guys, I had brought it here. The National Annual Report and Index on Women's Safety 2025, which ranks women's safety across Indian cities, places Delhi at which of the following? 28th. Very simple and straightforward. If it would come in the exam, it would, after, if you would have not read this article, then it is the bouncer. If you had read this article and then the question comes, it would be a full toss. Right now, it is a full toss. Now, the another article here, it is about the center has granted licenses to 5 firms to manufacture its first indigenous malaria vaccine. So what is important for us first to know, what are these 5 firms? We can expect such question from UPSC or state civil service exams. We don't know what they want from us, to be more precise with you guys. So let's discuss about it and let's try to understand what type of vaccine is that. Well, here which vaccine name and type. The indigenous vaccine is called Adflac-Vax. This is the vaccine name. It is a recombinant chimeric multi-stage vaccine. So it is a recombinant chimeric multi-stage vaccine. For the developers, the vaccine was developed by the Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR) in collaboration with the ICMR National Institute of Malaria Research and the National Institute of Immunology in New Delhi. So these were the official offices or organizations or research hubs who had created it, who had developed it. What are the firms which had been licensed? 5 firms have been given licenses for manufacturing and commercialization. First, Indian Immunologicals Limited, Technivention Life Care Private Limited, Pinakia Biotech Limited, Biological E Limited, and Zydus Life Sciences. So these are the companies who had been given the licenses for the manufacturing. What is the mechanism? The vaccine is designed to prevent malaria by targeting the parasite Plasmodium falciparum before it enters the human body bloodstream. That is great. Then, what are the key features? The vaccine is noted for being affordable, stable, effective for over 9 months at room temperature, and scalable, making it well suited for a public health initiative. What is the public health context? Malaria remains a major public health problem in India, which accounts for 1.4% of the global malaria case burden and 66% of the cases in the Southeast Asian region. So, in this regard, different types of question can be asked. First, about this vaccine, who had developed it, what are the companies, and what is the malaria burden. Different types of questions can be asked in this regard. So, with this, let's move to the another article here. Well, article is about the Election Commission of India, you know, Commission of India, and it is about the special intensive revision in Bihar, and it is about the documents which proves that you are the domicile, and it has added by the court's order. Now it is mandatory that the 12th document would be the Aadhaar card. As simple as that. You will have to submit the Aadhaar card, and you will be given the chance to get into the domicile. You will be chance to get into the voting list. So this is in simpler terms what this article is about. Rest the story we know, how there was special intensive exercise conducted. 66 lakh people were disenfranchised. They were removed from the electoral rolls, and then there was huge high and cry from the people from the opposition, and the Supreme Court came in and they gave them the chance to represent themselves, and then Aadhaar card was made the mandatory. So let's see what kind of question can be asked. Let's see first the key points. First, judicial intervention. The Supreme Court of India mandated that the Election Commission of India to accept Aadhaar card as a valid identity or document for the special intensive revision of the electoral rolls in Bihar. Aadhaar is now considered the 12th valid document for this purpose. The court clarified that Aadhaar serves as proof of identity but not of citizenship. Uh, it is proof of identity but not as citizenship, and can be used subject to verification of its authenticity. Election Commission of India stands. The Election Commission of India has earlier excluded Aadhaar, arguing that it was only proof of residence and therefore not sufficient to establish citizenship. The court deemed this reasoning inconsistent, as many of the other 11 accepted documents also do not conclusively prove citizenship. Then disenfranchisement. The Election Commission of India's previous approach had already led to exclusion of over 65 lakh electors from the draft roll. Data analysis revealed anomalies like the disproportionate removal of women, migrant workers, and married women, suggesting a flawed process. What is the inclusivity? The ruling is a significant victory for the right to vote, as it removes a major barriers for a vast number of genuine voters, particularly in Bihar, where nearly 90% of the population holds an Aadhaar card. What is the broader implications? The ruling's significance extends beyond Bihar, as it establishes a precedent for electoral roll revision across India. It reinforces the need for the Election Commission of India to prioritize accuracy and inclusivity over haste in its processes. So this is the data given with respect to this article. Let's see what kind of question can be asked from it. Here, the question says the Supreme Court's intervention on the inclusion of the Aadhaar card in electoral roll revisions highlights a crucial debate between electoral integrity and voter inclusivity. Examine the arguments for and against using Aadhaar card as documents for voter verification. So please give the arguments against it and arguments in favor of it, because it is not, as Supreme Court also highlighted, that is not the proof of citizenship. So it can be misused, because we have the large number of migrants from different countries, especially from Bihar. So it can be misused, but at the same time, the cost of it is very huge. So you need to write down the answer in this regard. If you want to, please then send it to me. I will definitely check it for you guys. Now with this, let's move to the last article of today's discussion. Well, it is about the Indonesia international news, as there is huge protests going on. Let's see what is the reason for that. Again, the political class, lavish life of political class, that is the reason. So let's see what are the key points given in here. So what is the initial cause? Protests began on August 25 against a proposed 50 million rupiah, which is approximately adds to $3,000 monthly housing allowances for parliamentarian members, which is 10 times the nation's average monthly minimum wage. So the lavish life of parliamentarians. Then what is the escalation? The death of a delivery worker after Afan Kurniawan, who was killed by a police vehicle on August 28, served as a catalyst that intensified the protests and spread them nationwide. Served as a catalyst that intensified the protests and spread them nationwide. What is the protest actions? Protesters' actions. Protesters attacked and looted public buildings and the homes of public officials, with clashes reported between civilians and police military. Government response. President Prabowo announced a reduction in the controversial allowances and promised an investigation into the killing. However, he also issued a strong warning against rioting, ordering police and the military to take firm action. What is the socio-economic factor? The protesters are fueled by underlying issues such as high income inequality. Indonesia ranks sixth in wealth inequality per an Expo report, and the government's recent austerity measures. What is the austerity measures? The Prabowo government implemented a significant fiscal cut of 306 trillion rupiah, which is 18.8 billion, which led to budget cuts in sectors like public works and higher education, and subsequent increase in local taxes. What are the previous protests? This is not the first time the government has faced public anger. Earlier in the year, students protested against the budget cuts to education in a movement dubbed Dark Indonesia. So there are various reasons. It is not the first time there are protests in the Indonesia. It is again the income inequality which is prevailing in the country. It is again the prestige, the favors given to the political class, which angers the nation because they are the people who pay the taxes and they don't want anybody to get extra lavish life than them. That is absolutely right. So in this regard, let's see what kind of question can be asked. Here the question says the recent violent protests in Indonesia, which led to resignation of the finance minister, were sparked by public anger over which of the following: an increase in the price of fuel, and no, a new tax on essential food items, a substantial monthly housing allowances for the parliamentary members. That's exactly true. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option C. With this, we complete our today's discussion. I hope you would have liked the video. I hope you would share it with your friends, and I definitely hope you would subscribe the channel. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.